Hello everyone, so in this video we will be converting this GNB 380 milliampere high voltage battery from a PH2.0 connector going to a GNB A30 connector. This is made by, of course, the same company, GNB, wherein the design is similar with BT 2.0 of BetFPV, wherein there's a flat side, which is your positive side, and there's a curved side, which is the ground. So if you will put it on your LiPo, the red part would be on the flat side of the port. Meanwhile, the black wire would go on the curved side. Do not interchange that, otherwise you have a damaged drone or possibly busted LiPo. Okay, so this we have to thank RC Mania Philippines. If you want to get your GNBs, you can go directly to their site. I'll probably put a link in the description. RC Mania Philippines. Yeah. Also, we got this A30 connector from Pinoy FPV. I'll probably put also a link on his site where you can get this at a very cheap price. Okay, because if you go for the BT 2.0, I think it's a bit expensive than the GNB, and they're similar. The only difference is that there's a groove here. Hope you can see that groove. So you cannot use this on a no, you can use this on a BT 2.0 female, but a BT 2.0 female, you cannot put it on a A30 male. Did that make sense? That this is compatible with BT 2.0, but the other way around is not. So if you will go this route, I think the A30 would be a better choice, and it's cheaper compared with BT 2.0. Okay, it has a similar approach when we converted the GNB 27 for our 530 milliampere. As you can see the difference, there are no flat top for the connector of the GNB 27. The only difference, no, they are similar with the groove, but as you can see, it's a little bigger compared with the A30. And for tiny whoops, I believe that is very crucial to lower down the weight. So the A30 is much, yeah, it is smaller, as you can see here. And I don't have a good weighing scale to check the weight of these items, but if you would ask me, this is really small and lighter than this one. But so far this GNB 27 works great with our 530 milliampere. So now actually I started doing some conversion and to test it, and it really fits well on a 380 milliampere. So I'll show you how I did it so that you can change yours. You can upgrade your ports for your battery. Okay, what are the things that you need? Of course, you need all of this: the battery, the connector, okay, some soldering lead, your soldering iron, what else? You really need a lot of this shrink wrap. If you would ask me, buy a lot of this. You would never know when will you use it. I'm not sure on the size, but if you buy it in, actually I bought it in a package. So this is the biggest that I got, and this is the second to the smallest. And I'll show you why we will use two different shrink wrap on this build, but for now just take it as it is. Okay, get some of this steel wool so that you can clean up your soldering iron while you do work on your soldering. Okay, so let's start this conversion. Of course, don't forget to get I forgot, this is very crucial. uh, get some tweezers and soldering paste. This is really important so that it would be easy for you to uh, convert and to solder each of these pads. And since I am alone, I usually use a helping hand to, of course, help me in my soldering. So this is really important. You can get this also on Shopee or Amazon. Just a simple helping hand would do. You can also use it uh, to put the solder here so that you won't touch anything while it is still hot. Okay, so first thing is you ready your battery, and usually I don't cut it at the same time. Otherwise, you may get an exposed wire and heat up this lipo and explode. So in order to mitigate that, we will just cut one wire at a time, work on it, solder, then do the other one. Okay, most of the time I start with the red one so that I will not get wrong with my soldering. Okay, so usually I cut it here, probably around 3 millimeters from the tip, so that I can reuse this PH 2.0 on a different project if ever I would need one, because some do clip until the top part, or sometimes they destroy the connector. For me, that is a waste. You can still reuse it because this is still a working PH 2.0. It's just that it's not efficient when we use it on an HD system. Okay, so first is cut it here. Okay, then if you're not yet confident on doing this, sometimes I put a masking tape here just to tape it around, ensuring that it will not uh, touch each other. Otherwise, you'll get a short and an explosion. Okay, so then we put it somewhere here. Then we ready the A30 connector, and as you can see here, both of its there is a groove or yeah, there's a groove here that you can put the solder on, but since it's facing upward, we'll try to rotate it so that they will not they will not face each other. Sometimes I just use a tweezer such as this one to rotate each. Oops. So we can rotate. Okay, that one. Okay, we rotate it. Rotate the other one on the other side. Okay, so that they will not face each other. Okay, so you have more room to work on with this very tiny pad. Okay, next is, okay, let's heat up our soldering gun or soldering iron. Let's go with the hottest. Okay, so we got some of our clean iron. So first is we will put some soldering lead on our port. So use a helping hand. Okay, put it here. Okay, use a lead. Get one that has a flux already so that it would be easier to solder. If not, use this paste. Put some on your port so that it would be easy to solder later on. Okay, turn it hot. Okay. Okay. Alright. So we got some lead there. Now, we will go with the battery. Cut a very, very thin part on this wire. I'm using a nail cutter because this is precise, but if you got a tool, you can also use that. Okay. Okay. There. So now that both the port and the wire has some lead, prepare your shrink wrap because there's no other way that you can place it later on unless you use it. You place it now. Okay, just cut a very, very thin one. This will protect your wires from each other because that is what we are actually trying to avoid. Otherwise they will get a short and it's really, really bad. Okay, so place your shrink wrap here. Be careful not to put it near the wire because this one gets really hot. Okay, if you are very, very slow on connecting both ends, this part of the wire might get really, really hot and damage some circuit here, and of course damaging your battery. So be very careful. Make sure that you are very quick on connecting these ports. Okay, let's go. Let's start this. Okay, usually I put more paste when I'm trying to connect to this both ends because the flux help to melt the solder lead quite easily, and it helps to make a great contact for both sides. Okay, also when you are doing this, make sure that if you will do it, it's not too far, or what I mean is they are on a good position because this is permanent. Okay, so try to make them as align them as good as you can do, so that you will not have a problem later on. Okay, from this point I'll be using a tweezer because this wire gets really, really hot once we melt down this lead, so we need to be quick and precise. Okay, let's go. It's hot. It's hot. Let's see if it's hot. Okay, it's hot already. And make sure that they stick. I'm not good in soldering, so sometimes this is enough for me. It will hold already, and it will not fall. So from there, we will put the shrink wrap here. Some uses a lighter just to melt down this shrink wrap, but usually I use a heat gun and heat this over, and it will really shrink in size and protect your wire. Okay, so after using some heat gun, you are now have this. It's a bit hot still, but that would be okay. It's already protected. Oops, sorry. It is already protected, so we can now work on the second wire. So we will do a similar approach. Okay, and yeah, we're good to go. Let's do it. Let's do the second part. Okay, let's usually cut it same length. Okay, so that later on it will have a similar length here. Okay, so let's cut it here. Okay, So don't throw this away. You can use it later on. Just clip again this wire. You can extend it. So you don't waste anything. With this kind of hobby, you can reuse parts, and that would be very helpful later on. Okay, so we will just cut it, expose some wire similar with the red one. Okay, we will pin this part. Okay, usually I held on to the wires because sometimes they are not held together. Okay, so heat your soldering iron and you're good. Sometimes I do have difficulty because I'm a right-handed person. So sometimes this is a bit difficult and tricky. Let's go. Alright, so we can now put our second shrink wrap as protection here. Then heat this up and let's go to the next part. Okay, so this should be our final product, but we will still add another shrink wrap on this part of the that port so that it is well protected every time we plug and unplug on our drone. Good thing it does now. Okay, let's just put a very thin one. Okay, oops, pull it until it's over the edge of that port. This is what will happen. Alright, so that would be enough. Now, it is protected. Okay, even if we pull this plug from the drone or from the charger, it will be a bit difficult to remove these wires, because there was a time in my life when there was a time when I do this on a GNB 27 and I pull everything, so both wires became exposed, and it's really hard. So what I did is I put some uh, E6000 here, so just to make this tighter, because there are actually some shrink wrap that has a glue, but this is not that one. This is a cheap one, so this is a DIY hack. So this is the GNB 380 milliampere. We would like to thank RC Mania Philippines for thank you for this GNBs, and they are good quality. So if you want to get your hands on one, kung gusto nyong bumili, you could go directly to RC Mania Philippines. I'll put a link on the description kung paano nyo makikita yung website ni Sir, and you can also message them. So they have a lot of products if you want to see them. They also got other batteries and some drones as well. Okay, so this is a legit GNB 380 milliampere, and so if you want to convert it, I highly recommend the A30. If you don't have a GNB 27 yet, especially for tiny whoops and those 65 millimeters, this is really smaller compared with the GNBs, and you can actually use this on your chargers that has a BT 2.0, such as the V-Fly Whoop Store charger. you can plug this directly on the BT 2.0 port and charge this directly. So, we will do a lot of conversion after this video. So we will end the video here. Hope to see you in the next one, and happy flying. See you around.